It's a month until the midterm elections, and rarely have investors been so focused on the outcome. All 435 seats in the House of Representatives are up for grabs, and a third of the Senate. After this weekend, after a contentious battle, Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed to the Supreme Court in a final vote of 50-48. That's the smallest margin for justice since 1881. Both Democrats and Republicans are saying that the Supreme Court fight could energize their bases ahead of the big vote on November 6th.
Our energy and enthusiasm was lagging behind theirs until this. And I think this gave us the motivation and the opportunity to have the kind of turnout in this off-year election that would help us hold the Senate.
With all the angry women and the men who listen to women and support the credible accounts of sexual harassment and sexual assault, which is very underreported, that I'm focused like a laser beam on the elections, because all these angry people out there, they know that it is the people who are sitting in the Senate that they've elected who are making these decisions, and they're going to go to the polls and they're going to vote differently.
Well, joining us for more on all of this is our senior writer, Stephanie Baker. So, Stephanie, first of all, how will the Kavanaugh battle actually affect the outcome of the midterms?
Well, I think it's really difficult these days to be predicting electoral outcomes. And we're a month away from the midterms, which in the Trump universe is an eternity, I think. Anything could happen between now and then. What most people are looking at now, the polls are indicating that it energizes both bases, both the Democratic base as well as the Republican base. It increases perhaps the chance of Democrats taking control of the House, because more of the races up for, there are more races up for grabs that would depend on sort of suburban swing voters, whereas the Senate races that are up for grabs this election cycle are in red states. More likely in red states that Trump has won by a large margin, and that has increased the enthusiasm, anger, affected a kind of Brett bounce, as they're calling it. Whether or not that will last
because they still see it as the Democrats trying to get their candidates, not confirmed.
Yeah, I mean, I think what many people have said is that this is the one thing that has unified the Republican Party like no other issue, getting a conservative justice on the Supreme Court. And that has, even for never Trumpers, that has perhaps increased the support for the Republicans going into the midterms, especially since we have some noise from the Democrat side saying that they would launch an investigation if they won control of the House, looking at possible impeachment of Kavanaugh as a justice, which has never been attempted before.
Okay, so what does it mean for Donald Trump if the Democrats actually win the House?
Well, like I said, I think, increased investigations, both into Kavanaugh, the FBI probe into Kavanaugh and the sexual assault allegations, I think, as well as an increased investigations into Trump, his finances, everything from his finances, his business, to the Russia probe. And I think you'll see, a definite momentum on that side. And I think it will be gridlock in terms of getting anything passed, because if the Democrats control the House and the Republicans can still control the Senate, I think nothing will get through.